Hello, everyone who may or may not be watching. This is Len with the Potter's Pickers, and my last video I talked about the estate sale that I made it to after closing, and they let me in, and how I had negotiated a deal for 20 bucks for all of the remaining jewelry. I went and picked up the jewelry today at lunch, and she threw in a few extra things with it. She had it all in boxes, and I knew there was a lot, but I didn't really know. I just now went through and counted and sorted everything. Before I get to the jewelry, let me show you the things I got her to throw in. These were just laying on the table next to her, and she asked me if I wanted them. I said, I'll take them if you'll throw them in, and she agreed. This is a Wisconsin sticker. I don't know if this is like a clear one that goes on your back window, but it's old. There's no year or anything like that on the back, but I know it's old because it says right next to Bucky's head there, 10 cents. So I live in Wisconsin. A vintage collectible sticker like this could be pretty slick. I don't know. She had it marked. She already had the sticker on it. She had it marked for $5 and she couldn't sell it at the estate sale. That doesn't mean I won't sell it, whether it be online or at the flea market for $5. I may be able to get that. The other thing I have is what I think might be an iron-on. I don't quite know, but it's in an envelope. No, this is a window cling also, and I think what this is a state park sticker from New Jersey. A state park access sticker. Now, it's still in the envelope. This is really going to be tricky here. So let me see if I can get this out and see if we can determine what year this is from. For applying on or inside windows, doesn't say. I think this is actually just a bumper sticker. I don't think it's a state park sticker because there's no year. If it was for a state park, it would be there would be a year on it. Good for the summer of 1965 or whatever. So very cool that it's in its envelope, but this is just a tourist sticker. And I'm kind of maybe regretting taking it out of this little, and this is crispy. This is what I always say, people who are like, how come we don't have original copies of the Bible? This paper is probably only 40 or 50 years old, and it's like, it's falling apart. Now imagine paper that's made from reeds that are crisscrossed together, made out of papyrus. Yeah, no wonder it didn't survive. So I'm going to set that aside and I'll monkey with it later. Show you what else I got. This is something I just learned might be of value on Etsy. Black and white pictures. These black and white pictures, she had these marked at $5. There's a clown with a dude with a guitar and maybe a mom and daughter. The clown says Sir Clacky Whack on his little clown uniform there. And then just a portrait of this little girl. I took them out of the bag. There's nothing written on the back. Have no clue what the year is, but something that might sell on Etsy. Then I got this little bag here, which she had marked at $10. Now there's a button on here that says Fred Fox. Well, let me just pull it out here, show you what I got. We know this is from 1959, and it looks like it's some kind of a hat. American Legion. And it says Naps on the side. Probably the boy who owned this. So this is June 13th to 20th, 1959, Badger Boy State, Ripon College. Frederick G. Fox. and he was apparently the mayor of whatever this organization was. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't done any research on any of these things. I just finished sorting out the jewelry and wanted to show you. But that is a very neat button. I'm sure there is somebody out there who would love to have this. In fact, if we could track down Frederick G. Fox, he might like to have it back. And if I found him, I'd give it to him. But considering it came from an estate sale, I'm guessing that the person may be passed already. So anyhow. Okay, so there were some things. Primarily what I got with jewelry was a lot of necklaces, brooches, bracelets, a couple of nice watches, tie clips, charms, buttons, some miscellaneous. I have some old dog tags here. Now these dog tags, they did a lot different back then, and I'm guessing this is probably from, okay, well this is again Frederick Fox. He was a Protestant, good on him. So there's 4 tags here, and what's interesting about these is that it has his mother's name and address on the bottom. Ruth J. Fox, her address, where she lived at the time. I'm guessing these are Vietnam era dog tags. And what's interesting is that the dog tags are on their original dog tag chain with the now I was a military guy 8 years, so this little short chain here, this is the toe tag that goes over the big toe after you've expired. And then Mom had hers on a rather nicer chain. Nothing too extravagant, but still really pretty. Only 1 ring in the lot. And it looks like just a little plastic or resin piece. No Bakelite in this group. The lady who was running this and sold all this to me, she would have known Bakelite. she knew her stuff. Got a little puppy statue, a couple of belt buckles, a fishing lure, old wooden, looks like a Hedon plug, Hedon, Heddon. She had that marked at $5, couldn't sell it. I will. And then here is a 1909 to 1959 Marathon Golden Jubilee from their 50-year class reunion. Just a little gold token there. I'm just trying to get it so you can see it. So, and I don't want to run terribly long with this, but I want you to see some of this cool stuff. I'm new to this, and maybe what I have here is a bunch of trash. I've always heard about buying these big jewelry lots. I've never found them. Here's something that's kind of neat. Is this is instructions for it's little clips that you can put regular post earrings into and yet clip them on, and it has the instructions for how to do that. So someone who didn't have pierced ears could still wear regular earrings. Belt buckle, very fabulous. Diamond rhinestone studded. That's probably worth at least $10, I would say, on Etsy, being that it's from the 50s. And then I don't know what this is, some kind of really bizarre little charm. I have no clue. Here's kind of an interesting piece. It looks like a rock, and it looks like someone took this little statue. It looks like somebody literally carved this themselves. There's no maker's mark on it. In fact, you know what it looks like? It looks like a pencil topper. It's got a hole right through it, so this would slide right out. If I had a pencil, I would maybe try, you know, but that's what it looks like, is a really kooky little pencil topper. Had that marked for $5 and it didn't sell. So, and then here Looks like it might be another kind of pencil topper. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm not going to go through everything, but I want to show you just the sheer volume. Remember, what I've shown you so far, that's part of the lot that I paid 20 bucks for. Other stuff that I have 19 brooches and pins in this Ziploc bag. There's a couple notable ones that I think are probably worth giving a closer look to. I may be completely wrong, but this one is marked Ambassador on the back, and it's like a little jade Buddha on it. She has a few of this kind of maple or oak leaf. I believe that's a maple leaf. You Canadians will correct me if I'm wrong. Some of these are like have names on them. Like this one of them said like Sarah Covington. Got this really pretty little rose here. This brooch, very nice. This I think is probably, this one here is probably the big winner, and it's a brooch with matching earrings. There's the brooch. And then here, these are clip-ons that you can see. They match. This says it has a name on the back, Sarah something. I got to look into it, but she had this lot marked at 10 bucks for the brooch and the 2 earrings. Didn't sell. But there's a lot of really totally decent mid-century stuff here. Check this out. I mean, it's just a little, just nice little pieces here. Some kind of a apple or acorn or something. I don't know. My camera is really not doing great tonight. I think the lighting is kind of lousy. I don't want to bore you with that anymore. Anyhow, 19 of them. All I have to do is sell all of these for $1 to break even. So 19 pieces plus all of the other little collectibles that I showed you. I want to put these all together because I'm trying to stay organized. So I'm sorry you got to watch this boring stuff. But nonetheless, if you have any tips for me, I think a lot of this stuff I'm going to put on Etsy instead of eBay, or maybe I'll do both. I've heard that you can cross-promote like that, and if it sells on one platform, you just delete it off the other one, obviously. If anyone has any advice for this kind of stuff, I have a lot of thoughts about the flea markets and stuff. Now, here's some tie clips, cufflinks, charms, and buttons. I'm not going to take all these up, but a couple of cool things I want to point out. I have 2 of these Wausau Fight buttons that are from the 60s. That's like one, just like a team button or something, but I have 2 of them identical to each other. 14 total pieces in here. I got to think those Wausau Fight buttons are probably $5 a pop. 3 watches and 13 bracelets in this bag. Some nice pieces, some very hideous pieces, but there's a couple. If you've ever heard of this company, Leah Sophia, some of these look like that, and so I'm sure that Leah Sophia's style was inspired by this vintage kind of mid-century look. Clip-on earrings. I have 42 pair of clip-on earrings. Some of them are hideous. Some of them are gorgeous. My first thought was like, well, maybe I'll put these up on Facebook, and anybody who has girls who play dress up would love to have all of these. But there's some in here that are just really nice, and I don't know. I have to do research and see if there's any market for old clip-on jewelry or if it's basically disposable. I have 31 pair of earrings, regular stud style, hanging style. Some fairly nice pieces in there, and then some very average, but the woman who these belong to, she was 105, and this is just a fraction of her jewelry that was left. Here's kind of the mother load. I have 55 varieties of necklace. Some of them are basically worthless beads. Some of them are kind of the Leah Sophia looking things. There's some really nice metal in here. I know none of it's sterling, none of it's gold. I know that. But there's some pieces that I think just for the style, for that vintage look on Etsy, might be somewhat desirable. I got to think that this will sell for a few bucks on Etsy, right? What do you think? Leave comments. Tell me what you think. But then I have pieces like this where it looks like somebody vomited on a rope, let it dry up, and put it on the neck. It's really bizarre. But what it is it's teeny, tiny, tiny seashells on blue with blue beads in between them. But it's quite hideous. And a lot of this kind of, just blue, red and black. But again, there's some really nice pieces. Like here's one. This is kind of that Leah Sophia look that I was talking about earlier. So, all told, I have spent $20. I have 55 necklaces, 31 earrings, 42 clip-ons, 14 tie clips and buttons, 19 brooches and pins, and then 13 bracelets and 3 watches. I have, plus all of the miscellaneous stuff that I showed you, I have around, let's see here, about 140 to 150 pieces, not counting all of the miscellaneous. So if I get just $1 for these, if I just load up my flea market booth and say, look, your choice, $1, take it, I don't care. That means that I've, made about 6 times my money. But I think I can do a lot better than that. If anybody has recommendations, let me know. I've really enjoyed myself doing this. I met with a guy today who, the job that I do, my full-time gig is I do automotive. I'm a vendor for shops and dealerships and things like that. So behind the shop that I was visiting was a 4-foot by 8-foot mobile sign. And it was just sitting buried in the snow in the back of his shop. It's in fairly rough condition, but it's from 1960. In fact, he remembered when his dad owned the shop when he was a boy that the wind took out the old sign, and he got that new one in 1960. There's a couple of minor cracks in it, small condition issues. But for the sign itself, 4 feet by 8 feet, double-sided, he wants $150. And he has a 22-foot pole that goes with it. And so 3 1/4 is what he wants for the whole thing. So I don't know if I'm going to get that or not. I'm going to get the sign for sure. I just don't know how I'm going to get a 22-foot sign home. And I think I have a buyer regardless. So anyhow, that is what's happening with my picking. Last night I spent some time going through and doing inventory. I was watching some hangouts from other channels, and I don't remember the channel name that I was watching. Maybe I can find it in my history really quick because I found it so helpful. And man, I just really love the internet. I'm learning so much about things. Let me just switch to my other channel here. Okay. So I was watching a video from a user named Picking Profits, and it was a hangout with another couple. Scavengerlife.com is their website, and I think their username is eBay Scavengers. So they were talking about selling and taking things seriously. And I watched another one of Picking Profits hangouts where he was talking to Global Voodoo. They were just talking about like taking it serious and being ready, you know, to you know, prepare to pay taxes if you plan on doing this and making a lot of money. I didn't realize that eBay would send you a 1099 if you went over a certain amount of money. That's really good to know. I mean, you know, Lord willing, if I get over $20,000 in sales on eBay, that would be pretty amazing. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But I learned some really awesome stuff from these hangouts that I watched, and I'm really thankful for this platform. Because it's going to help me immensely. I want to check out the Amazon thing. If anyone has any videos about you know, selling on Amazon and making good money doing it, you know, I got a ton of CDs and books that I would love to dump. And if I can do it on Amazon, I'd love to get rid of them and get the money that that they're worth. So that's all I have today, guys. Leave comments, subscribe, please. In the description box, I left links to my Twitter, eBay, and Etsy shop. If you want to check those out, feel free to do so. I hope in the future to get my wife to make videos with me. My wife is a knitter, and she's an extremely talented knitter. If you check out our Etsy shop, you'll see just a fraction of what she's made. Basically, what's left, what's on Etsy is what is left from the craft fair season. Craft fairs are great revenue for us with that aspect of our business. You know, and we do fairly well with it at flea markets too, but she had probably 200 pieces to start the season, and there's 30 left. Multiply that by about $15 average, so that'll tell you how well that went. Some other stuff that maybe I'll make some videos about in the future is upcycling. I for the flea market season, I did some minor upcycling projects. I sold about $200 worth at the craft fairs. You can't do flea market stuff at craft fairs, but you can do handmade and upcycling and things like that. So like I upcycled some skis into floor lamps and coat racks and things like that. So anyhow, that's all, guys. Happy picking. Leave comments. Please subscribe. Share this on your social media, and take care. Bye-bye.